Итак, всем привет, с вами Хойми. Мы продолжаем прохождение игры Tangle Tower. И давайте, я даже не знаю, пойдем в половинку пейнтеров. Пойдем на самый верх. Начнем оттуда. Обсерватория.
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
A mechanical solar system?
Смотреть.
What would you do with it?
Смотреть.
I would look at it.
И реально смотреть. О боже.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
Очень много. Я не понимаю. Погоди, 5 планет, Солнце к центру. Относительно какого времени хотя бы, типа.
Nothing.
So there are two ways to move the shadows. Rotate the planets and rotate the sun and moon.
I guess that's wrong.
I think you just need to get the shadows to line up with the shape on the base.
Nope.
The sun and moon need to be at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock.
Как? Как я должна... неважно, хорошо, я тупая, я знаю, но... Так, солнце на
The
час.
shape on the base is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which is which.
Вау!
No, that was it.
Теперь я доперла, когда всматриваешься.
Nice work. Did you hear that?
There's a little hatch underneath. What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
Какой-то жук. Различные заметки, чертежи для исследований. 4 положительные жизни золотого жука. Получается, от названия запанцирь 90% состоит из минерала идентичного золоту. Несколько лет. Он отгоняет хищников громким шипением, будет 95 децибелов. К тому же, совершенно неперевариваемый этот местит незаслуженно славится неудачей, которую он приносит тем, кто его увидит.
It's tidier than my desk. Oh, the notebook is untouched.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
It's tidier than the notebook.
So, even the most well-used notebook.
It's too cloudy to see.
It's also daytime.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
The bell jar.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean? Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos. There's something kinda... I just expected a bit more
Oh,
from
does it not compare to all the other astronomy towers? A spyglass.
They're in very good condition.
Ку-ку.
Shh, listen. Do you hear them? The stars. They're whispering. So quiet and yet so loud.
What are they whispering about? Are they spreading rumors about us?
I shouldn't think they concern themselves with such insignificance. We are but specks of dust, you and I.
Mm-hmm. Could this speck of dust start by telling me his name?
You find yourself standing in the astronomy tower of one Professor Percival Pointer.
Seems like this tower belongs to the Pointers, and the other one belongs to the Fellows.
Well observed, my dear. Tangle Tower is something of a duality, as it happens. Meaningless boundaries, really. They exist only in our minds.
Helpful.
Ага. Так.
Me? Not much to say. Strictly speaking, I'm the current head of the Pointer family.
Ну, поняли, да.
And of course, father to my precious Poppy.
And a professional astronomer?
Oh no, that's just a little hobby. I mean, yes, I've studied the stars for over 35 years, published 17 books.
Just a little hobby.
Ага,
Sounds
маленькая
like you're
obsession.
quite well known. You must bring in a good amount of money.
Oh dear me, no. My field of research has never yielded any kind of stable financial return, nor would I expect it to. I am nothing but a humble interpreter for the cosmos, working to translate its message so that I may share it with the world.
Cool. Tell the Cosmos I say hi.
Окей. Что вчера было?
The day began as any other, with blissful, unremarkable routine. I took my usual morning walk around the gardens. Fresh air does wonders for the mind.
Did you see anyone else?
Penelope and Fitz were in the greenhouse together. I didn't bother them, of course. I sat for a while besides the pond in the garden. It's a favorite spot of mine. Eventually, I returned to my tower and buried myself in my studies for the afternoon.
Did you use your telescope yesterday?
Once the stars began to appear, naturally.
For how long?
I can't say. I've been known to lose hours at my telescope.
Did you see anything?
No actual discoveries, if that's what you mean.
So you were all alone up in the astronomy tower. Must have been a while before you found out what had happened to Freya.
Quite. Normally, I would be the last to find out about such a thing. But a curious tug of fate led me towards the fellow tower later that evening.
Итак.
I was at my telescope for the majority of the evening, but at one point I returned to my desk to look something up in a reference book. I couldn't find the book I wanted, so I figured Fiona must have borrowed it. I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall. I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library. She looked impatient and slightly frustrated.
Same as ever then?
Quite. I passed her by and went upstairs to Fiona's room. The door was locked, but I could hear shouting coming from inside. I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter. I had no desire to invade their privacy by eavesdropping, so I waited for them to finish and come out into the hall. Before I could ask about the book, Poppy grabbed my hand and took me upstairs along with Fiona. It was apparent that both of them had already been crying about something. We went up to Flora's tower. Freya was laying on her back, right in the middle of the room. Flora and Fitz were already there. They both looked stoic as ever. Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did, and then Fiona went downstairs with Poppy for some reason. I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Why did you leave so quickly? Wasn't there anything you could have done to help?
Don't take this the wrong way, but the whole ordeal is fellow family business. I'm quite sure they don't need me getting in the way at a time like that.
Справедливо. На.
What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see? It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Он, типа, ну, не важно. Лупа, все дела.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
Ха-ха-ха-ха. Мужик что-то врет. Ну, пока не знаю.
Curious little thing, isn't it? Do you know what she keeps in there?
Nothing. At the moment. It was empty when we opened it.
How bizarre.
Can't a woman keep an empty egg in her room?
Ладно, с тобой говорить не о чем, пойду я. Вредный дед. Так, это, видимо, птичник. О боже.
My little writing desk. It's kind of...
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone really knows their stuff. Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
A rather magnificent bush. Somewhat...
There's a letter P carved into the side.
A rather magnificent...
There's a letter P carved into... They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
I feel like I'm standing in a giant bird cage. And especially fancy...
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
Птица — это птички с тяжелой вычурной клетки. Good morning. О май гад, у нее реально такие, но...
What is it?
Huh?
Sort of a delicate jade, but with a little seafoam green, is that right?
Sorry?
Your hair, dear! Which shade do you use? It's lovely! And that shape, you're really pushing the envelope.
Oh, thanks. I do what I can to offset Grimoire's beige on brown ensemble.
Detectives don't need to be brightly colored. We prefer to blend into the background.
С красным волосом.
You're the detective? Delightful. Penny Pointer, pleasure.
Is that short for Penelope?
Officially, yes, but I never can be bothered with all 4 syllables of it. Penelope sounds a little ostentatious coming out of the mouth, don't you?
А ты не претенциозный ни разу, да?
Sure. Yeah.
Twenty-something, Aquarius, love to travel, and nearly all of my friends are birds.
Да.
Travel? Where to?
Anywhere at all, as long as it has species worth studying.
Но книгу она, видимо, открывала.
Ornithology, they call it. I call it the only thing I've ever been good at.
And have you studied the birds here at Tangle Tower?
But of course! Where else do you think I developed my love?
Ее, конечно, ее вот эти вот
No matter where I
перчатки
go,
огонь.
I always find myself coming home to Tangle Tower.
Because of the birds.
Oh, no, because of him! Silly to admit, but I suppose I can't bear for us to be apart.
Кому ему-то?
Who are you talking about?
Oh, don't you know? My fiancé, dear Fitz.
Вау!
He's not really the traveling type, you see.
А он знает об
Fitz
этом?
fellow, the very one.
You're engaged to a member of the Fellow family? That's interesting.
Мне кажется, он не знает об этом.
I'm not especially interested in whatever tedious feuding goes on between our 2 families.
Ага.
Fitz and I find it much easier to stay out of it altogether.
Я думала, он с Поппи. Хотя, погодите, нет, Поппи, наверное.
I awoke early
Всё.
and headed down into the greenhouse to see Fitz. He's always there. Crack of dawn, every morning like clockwork.
How come?
It's where he's happiest. That and he has a great deal of work to do every day. Watering, pruning, mulching, whatever that is.
Do you help him
Мульчирование?
with the work in the greenhouse?
Нет, конечно.
Oh, no. I wouldn't dream of it.
Думаю, он был бы не рад, да, если бы ты помешал.
So, you stayed with Fitz the whole day?
No. In the early afternoon, he went back inside. Rather
Она
suddenly.
его невеста, она тебе придумала,
say
наверное,
why?
это и
He
все.
didn't. Probably just a touch of heat stroke, the poor dear. He's more delicate than you think.
What did you do after that?
Let's see. I returned to the aviary to feed my birds.
And how many birds are you responsible for?
Officially 4, but in truth it's more like 400.
Can they not feed themselves?
Of course. And they often do. But I think they just like the company. As do I.
Она одинока. Ее жалко.
Sometime in the evening, I left the aviary and headed back towards my room.
Я просто думала, это не рукава, это
In the
плащ у
hall,
нее,
I
это рукава
spotted Uncle
оказались.
Pointer heading down the stairs. He was muttering something. Seemed a bit upset, the poor dear. I followed him down, but the grand hall was empty by the time I got there. Empty aside from Detective Hawkshaw, who was loitering over by the library. I don't know what it was, but she looked a little lost. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower. I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path. For some reason, he was coming out of Fitz's bedroom.
Господи, вы все расходитесь в данных.
I told him I was looking for Uncle. He suggested we look up in Flora's tower room. We could see from the hallway. The door was off its hinges. I knew then something was terribly wrong. A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya. Uncle Pointer was there. Fitz too, standing over in the corner with Fifi and Poppy.
What about Flora?
Of course, silent as ever. Uncle suggested we should leave. Give the others some space, you know. So he and I both returned to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
Ну это правильно.
Somebody taking an interest in extinct animals. Extinct? Oh, yes. The book is very old. Most of the birds in it are long gone.
Now,
Oh,
what about this bird, though? The ink dip.
This one was thought to be extinct for a long time. Then one was found here at Tangle
Huh.
Tower.
нормально.
So it's not extinct.
You misunderstand. It was the last one.
О,
The very last.
Oh.
вот где-то
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you? Why do you keep them in a cage?
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
понятно.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
Ей, тезка, привет.
Which one is
Бля,
which?
Oh,
птица.
that's simple. Tatiana is the
Птица.
oldest. Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Кто из
Glad we
них
cleared
кто?
that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head? It's just my hat. It doesn't have
Ah.
a name. Who would name their hat?
Сорян. Такая, сорян.
Very nice.
You've seen these before?
Мы разбили ей сердце, прости.
Yes.
All of them. Even this one of...
Yes.
Она злая. Она очень злая.
I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though.
Ах,
Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right.
ха-ха-ха.
Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least.
Окей.
Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style.
М,
I don't know what that is.
Реально, никто подзорную трубу не
I
видал?
doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling. Don't you think?
М,
It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
ага.
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Окей.
Noted.
Ну, больше...
Hello. Who penned this juicy little number?
We don't know. It's not signed.
An anonymous letter? Classic clue.
А,
Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian. Had her own priorities. Ooh, a secret.
Откройте кто-нибудь, а.
diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent. Ooh, delightful. more of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look.
Ну да, выглядят они симпатичны. Ну а больше, типа...
I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I
Ну
find
реально
it bare. For some
Фицрой,
reason, it makes
блин,
me
а.
feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew.
We can get into Penny's room now.
Now, like, right now?
Во. Вау, миленько. А, Мне реально очень нравятся вот эти крылышко руки. Как он там руки вставляет, это тоже другой вопрос. Хокшоу мне не нравится. Вот, мне Хокшоу не нравится, она какая-то очень темная.
It's a birdhouse.
Are those real birds? Nope, they're wooden.
They're using up all the perches. What if a real bird?
7 птиц вместо. 2, 4, 6, 7.
Nope.
Да как нет-то?
There must be some logic to how the birds are. Something to do with those white lines.
От этого сета и родился светло-зеленый. Светло-зеленый с красным это коричневый, светло-зеленый с желтым. Голубой!
Nothing.
I think the birds are related to each other.
Блин, да я ж это понимаю, чё ты мне пиздишь-то?
I guess that's
It's a
wrong.
family tree. The colors and eyes combine as they go down. You'll need to start with blue and yellow at the top.
Серьё... Бля, точно, слушайте, я дебил, потому что...
I got it.
Я идиот, потому что не совсем в том порядке
Impressed.
сделал. Сорян.
Did the door open?
Сорянчик.
What's in there?
Разорванная бумажная смятая в шарик, внутри обнаружены красные лепестки. Теперь уж я ее достану. Я думаю, это Поппи отрисовано, потому что... да, потому что Пенелопа очень... Пенни хреново к Поппи отнеслась.
You know, the birds can easily get in and out
No,
of
if that's true, can they even be considered cages? That's some flower.
There's something weird about it. It just feels out of place.
Пёстрый цветок необычной формы. Пока кажется, он здоров, и за ним хорошо ухаживали. Почта красивый, свежий, влажный, необычно синего цвета.
A little tea set.
One of the cups has tea in
What's
it.
in the other one?
Birdseed. A little bedtime.
Let's see. Romance novels. And
What?
this one appears to be both.
Nice.
Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
This is the...
Too fancy.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Anything in there?
Bed sheets.
That's not even remotely suspicious. Ever get the feeling you're being
The
watched?
mannequins don't have eyes, though.
That's not a comforting set. Looks like nature. Rude. That's a big window.
Да, окошко большое. Пока это все. Давайте отнесем цветочек Фицу, это, возможно, его. Ну, бля, как это все хорошо сделано. Цветочек.
A flower. Yeah, that's a
Шерлок!
flower. Found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
Я говорю, это бабёк Сен придумала
Those
что-то.
petals, they,
What?
Ага!
red.
Я знаю, чувак, ты мутишь с Поппи, а это на тебя запало. Я тебя поняла.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You
Ну, нам же
can't
сказали
make
об
it.
изменении
It's
ДНК,
called
разве нет?
alchemy. It was a whole thing.
This is a good example of how things work.
Да,
I
вот
mix
вот.
that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and
Такие
gemstone.
необычные, да.
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny, inedible fruit?
You look at it.
Да. Yeah, look at it. Как
A
с
little
этой
chart of...
хренью?
Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Мы так и не поняли, как это разбирается.
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
Типа, пи, эпсилон,
What
вот
do you
это
make
всё.
of it?
Not a whole lot.
Хорошо. Тут мы ничего не можем. К этой пока не пойдем. Осталась последняя свободная комната. Здесь у нас занято, здесь непонятно что.
Locked.
Да ладно, Шерлок. Последняя свободная комната. Поппи. Верно? Мы ее только не встречали, всей семьи. Музыкальная комната. О май. О май.
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Sheet music. It's
That's a lot of notes.
probably why they're on the floor. 1 old wooden
Yep.
book. 25 dry.
Mhm.
4 lit.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing the problem? Oh, whatever it is, it's
Well, it is the music room. He's got to practice.
what's with all the broken glass?
Висящая статуя — странное существо, держащее большой горн. По всей длине горн проходит заметная трещина. В горне на земле вокруг валяются осколки.
Who plays the violin?
It's pretty dusty, so I'm guessing nobody.
Oh, whatever it is, it's
Well, it is the music. Got to
what's
practice.
with all the broken glass?
Да-да.
Are they paper?
Whatever. Like a little parade of...
It's one of those big.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
Здрасте. О, господи, вы
Are
странная.
you a ghost?
Sally, that's rude.
Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment, but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a
Поняла.
few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
Ну да.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
How
Ну,
are you related to
зажатая.
the other pointers?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest
А еще
friends.
Фиц.
We
Но он вроде не
alternated 19
Фрей.
last year.
Нет, Фрей.
Do
он
people ever
Funfellow.
leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19,
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but
Но Фифи не могла, это же Фифи.
things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened,
Она
I
уже не
really
сможет.
don't want to stay here much longer. 3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon as I wake up. Same as always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
and you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side.
Oh.
He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you
Это
talk to
любовь.
him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that.
Любовь, всегда любовь.
Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to
Скрик,
describe
наверное.
it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of metal, but different. Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually, she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been crying. I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower. Then Felix arrived. He had Penny with him.
Пока тут всё
Fifi had this
по-своему.
idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15
Аккуратно
minutes.
проверяла.
After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
Давай опрос свидетелей.
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes.
Все?
I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right.
Я говорю, соперницы сраные.
Those pedals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual.
Там, наверное, была ваза с этой розой, розу разбили. Пенни,
I
пони,
think
вот
it's
эти
kinda cool
все.
to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far.
А ты типа
Penny can be a
птица
little
можешь сильно это?
Protective.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
How come you're not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that?
Да я
I
вообще.
think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring
Oh.
nightmare.
Она была что, провидица, что
Sorry,
ли?
but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes.
Краски?
Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff. It was my mother's originally.
So, why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Ну, красявшно.
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Was that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room
Как его
before.
скрыть-то?
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
Ну, тоже
I
верно.
thought you and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's
Не
just
настолько.
Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
Слушайте, а может Фифи
Sure, she'd
убила
tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to
Freya?
me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. That belongs to Flora, I think. You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously.
Наблюдать просто.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower.
Угу.
I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
Да.
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah. weird.
Никто не
What
подскажет.
was inside?
Nothing.
Нифига не было.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style.
Ну, вообще,
is
да.
it?
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
Может быть.
Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to anyone? Or signed by anyone?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you?
Да легко.
When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife with blood on
Ну,
it.
а на самом
You
деле...
don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife makes any sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything. Is that a gardening trowel?
Ага.
Yeah. I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh. Never seen him use it. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No. Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think?
Надо спросить ее.
All right.
I
Poppy's
wonder what's in there.
Комната Поппи.
There's something about that diary we something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Так а ты что не открывал даже? Какого фига, а? Я не прочитала дневник. Что там?
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
Да вы заколебали! Хорош бегать!
It's a bird bath. That just
The
right.
birds seem-
They're even singing. Doot, doot, doot.
Please don't do that.
Давай говорить.
That's
Задание
all the statements
подозреваемых.
collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's
Там
been
все не
lying.
сходится.
That too.
Fitz
Потому
and I
что-
were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted
Скрик,
about
да.
3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Они говорят правду, они были вместе.
Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
Вот он.
In the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down
Да.
the stairs.
I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and
Ну,
began
вроде никто не
the yellow
пиздит.
staircase.
Пока.
As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me.
I
Она...
inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up
Да.
the hollow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the
Сейчас
statements line up with
сходится,
each other.
да.
They don't just line
То есть
up.
никто не
Some of them
убивал
even
ее.
seem to specifically confirm each other.
Да, так Кэп. И что мы с ними сделаем?
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if.
Давайте пока мы здесь походим, мы там не были, все-таки надо все доисследовать, потом всем говорить опять.
Oh, thank goodness! There wouldn't want it to be dark in here.
Роза, та самая
A single
красная.
red rose. How very.
Yeah, weird.
Та самая красная роза, которую
It's a
подарила
metronome
Фиц, наверное.
for keeping time.
It's ticking. Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking.
Он должен, это
Not sure
метроном.
what those symbols are, though. I did it. What do I win?
Вау.
Not
Это была
bad.
самая странная, но самая простая загадка.
What happened?
A little hatch unlocked in the back.
Anything in there?
Mm-hmm. It's a photograph. Heart of a photograph.
Та самая... Вау! Фифи Фрей, эта часть была спрятана в комнате Фрей. По фотографии изображена белокурая девочка в розовой одежде. Девочка фотографии держит розовый аудиоплеер, наушники тающего цвета. Чё, серьезно?
There's something about that pink cassette. Something.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
А, то есть у нас и для нее... Стой, 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 стой. 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 Нам пока рано откровение открывать, погоди. Но реально то, что Фиц в любом в попе, блядь, я так поняла сразу.
That is the bed of a vampire.
I thought vampires slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back. Just a bunch of clothes on the floor. Nothing weird about that.
To you.
To you, dagger.
Sheet music.
It's only a few notes.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for
Надо
some reason.
записать. А. Нотная рамка с контрамодной иллюстрацией. Пригодится.
There's a name. You know, these ones. Anything in the drawer?
Nothing you need to know about.
Empty. Anything in the water?
Dresses mostly. Never realized there are so many shades of black. It's an octopus.
No, it's not. It has 6 legs. No. Don't say it.
Sextopus.
Various handmade posters.
What do you think those symbols are?
Hopefully, nothing. A big glass door leads out into a garden.
There's a little mechanism.
Nothing. Still
All
locked.
4 times.
Those other symbols look like.
А, до меня допёрло, Михалыч. Сейчас все сделаем. Я знаю, как это... Я поняла, как открыть ту штуку. Сейчас. А, блин, мне клетчатый листок нужен. Неважно. Так, рисуем хреновину 4×4, да? 2, 4. Раз, 2, 3, 4. Раз, 2, 3, 4. Разлинуем. Сейчас я подготовлю. Сойдет. Отмечаем здесь солнце. Солнце, солнце, солнце. А на той стороне мы отмечаем луну. Да, мы сейчас откроем проход, потому что... О май. Как много оббегать на самом деле. Это нам 5 секунд, а им полчаса. Давай, давай, давай. И здесь мы видим, где здесь луны. Луна. Так, 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 так. Солнышко у нас здесь, здесь, здесь.
Let's come back once we... No.
А, хотя стой.
It's locked.
I
We
thought
are.
that thing by the hand.
У нас есть инфа.
It made a noise.
I guess that was right. And the door's
I
still.
still
Она
feel like
заперта,
we
но наполовину. И сейчас у Поппи мы вторую половину сделаем. Я говорю, они влюбленные, но, видимо, у них они как Ромео и Джульетта, только не убивают друг
a
друга.
big glass detail.
There's a little mech.
Вот так, теперь Луна должна быть здесь.
Something happened.
That must be it.
Да, получилось.
Finally, it's over.
Whatever's on the other side.
Погнали насрать. Да. Что здесь происходит? Сад на крыше. О, мой Гарбл, как тут мило.
Giant stone frog.
Yeah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snow.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
Перышки. Большой перьев был найден на языке большой камень лягушки.
That's one big dragonfly.
Or one very small dragon. It's a rose bush. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side.
The roses are bright red.
Aren't roses
Exactly.
a little pond?
It looks really, really easy. Those metal bars around the edges
Oh,
too.
yeah. What are you supposed to...
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
It's another little statue.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing...
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Слегка потертая с этой стороны. Существа, держащие вид на голове, стало плотно.
Oh, good. I'm glad to know there's a way to get across that.
Not all bridges are about getting across stuff.
It's the door into Fitz's
One
room.
of only two ways to get into the
Oh,
garden.
yeah. The door into Poppy's.
So only Poppy and Fitz can get into the garden?
Да.
Ah, I guess so.
Вы поняли, да? Да, любовь,
No egg
лямур,
statues.
I don't get it. Why?
Well, either they have some special or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
Ну да, вообще-то туда. Ну, погнали, ладно. Фифи сначала разоблачим. Не знаю, что он собрался с ней делать, ну давай.
Is this your diary, Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
You seriously require an explanation?
Да.
Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10 and...
So, there are secrets written here?
This particular diary is unused.
It doesn't look unused.
It's Fifi's diary, and she has written in it.
I'm not sure about
А
that.
я думаю, это
Me neither.
Слушайте, это, наверное, это
This particular diary is unused.
Фрея.
It doesn't look unused.
Это Фрея.
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my
Тебе похрен на
bedroom.
что
It is
такое.
mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
Письмо? Бля, письмо.
That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Что ж тебе надо, женщина?
That kind of makes sense, but no.
А, это kind of makes sense, but no?
That's not it. That's not it.
Ух, твою мать, а? Мне надо на тебя право еще.
That's not it. That's not it.
Тут логично не верю.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Похоже. Дневник того же цвета.
Fifi didn't didn't know about the secret diary, which proves it belonged
Не
to
знала,
Freya.
блин.
Nope.
Так, можно продолжить.
This blue book is the same thing
Почти.
as
Я не знала,
the
что на
secret
книжку
diary,
можно
which
наводить.
proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room, and you kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
Ты сейчас скрываю от тебя, родная моя. О, господи, а тут-то что? Фифи, что не хватило. Тут увидел личные секреты.
Fifi didn't want
Yo,
anyone to see
wow,
personal
дедукция.
secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend,
Но не
but if you're
настолько же.
trying to hide something,
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing, in her own way. By concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention
Открывай, давай,
to
не
preserve
трепись.
her innocence.
Innocence?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Она не может.
Very well. I will open
А,
it.
окей, отлично,
However,
спасибо.
as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind and the most wise person I
Ты
have
просто
ever known.
возносишь, это не может быть правда.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
Оно вернулось на этот раз воплотим. Это я его выпустила. Может, мне стоит разорвать эту картину на куски. Душно сработала, удивительная штучка. Теперь у меня их два. Нужно еще два. Пробралась в центр удивительно просто по сравнению с арфой. Я их видела, всех пятерых с вычеркнутыми глазами. Несмотря на все, даже сохранить свое обещание и сделать все, что смогу, ей пойдет на пользу общения. Нихуя непонятно. Так, слышь, мужик. А, блин, надо было... Фиц, слушай, мы все знаем, колись.
Poppy's piano music. I remember when she started learning. She's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Да, обычно так.
Of course.
Это так и работает.
Any idea who this is?
Поппи?
No idea.
Ой, пиздишь.
What's with the broken glass? Wait, those are mine. The earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Чтобы
Why?
Пенни не
You
слышать.
don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No. I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
Да-да-да, Пенни
That's
пытается.
genius.
Да.
Penelope's three favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they like her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
Ну, мы и знаем, так что какая разница.
Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it. We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, it could have been a long time. We
А
don't
пиццы были
ever
там.
really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left
Ну
alone.
да. Окей, спасибо. А, хотя, знаешь, что, погоди, еще граммофон остался.
That belongs to Poppy.
So, why is it up in Flora's tower?
I'm not sure. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
Понятно, все хрен догонишь. Окей. У нас осталось... мы все комнаты открыли. Ёх ты, хорошо, окей. Ха. Пошли ее плюсанем.
I don't like mirrors. They still...
How do you get your hair so
I do by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
There used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the
Ну,
place.
все обычно.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the non-ordinary ones?
Вымерли.
That
is a very good question. I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this is? In the photo?
Поппи, господи.
Absolutely no idea. Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
Yes, it's my... my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
А?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar. That's rather strange now, isn't it?
Да-да-да-да-да.
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message?
Да, блин, ну это же, блин, очевидно уже. Мы все
Really none of your business.
зацепки нашли к этому любовному сранеугольнику.
Gaudy old thing, isn't it? Flora seems very fond of it. I've never understood why. But then I could
Пошли
say
к
the
этой
same thing
Флоре.
about her husband.
Кстати, мы что-то вообще ее выпустили из вида.
Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? Thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her.
There's something about those petals we found in
Ой,
Penny's
наконец.
something.
Let's ask her about it.
Давай! Ждем, мы все знаем.
So, yeah, we
Сейчас
found
мы
this.
эту серию закончим.
That's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Все мы знаем.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to. It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at. But it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Птица, женщина.
Those two bedrooms.
For most people, it
Вы
would
же
be.
знаете об этом.
But don't forget, Penny's the resident on
Птички,
the
да,
premises.
тренированные птички.
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
У меня охерительный голос. Мне так нравится их озвучка, она такая прекрасная. Блин.
One of Penny's birds
Ёлку.
was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them.
Они очень
We
странные
know
парни. Мне
those two
нравится.
have been spending time together
Это
in the
мило.
rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that.
Женщина, он к тебе вообще
Besides,
никто, как я
Tabitha
понимаю,
hardly ever
всё-таки.
leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop
Там еще две,
garden.
здравствуйте.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to prove one of
Перья.
them has been in the rooftop garden.
Это я понял, перья.
Let's take a closer look at these.
Ой, блин, давай.
This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
Не, мне нравится эта игра, она такая хорошая. Да, да.
Can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there. in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting?
Никто.
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me.
Он к тебе не приближался.
So quiet with me these days. But being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Теперь мы знаем ее секрет. Так, Фиц+Пенни сейчас проводит время вместе в саду, Пенни начинает подозревать. Пенни послала свою желтую птичку, чтобы та украла розовые лепестки в качестве доказательства. Пенни считает, что Фиц удаляет от нее. Да он же не был на тебе же. Ой, неважно. Окей, а у тебя что за секрет все-таки? Не хотел, чтобы никто не комментировал. Окей. Давайте пока что я не совсем знаю, что мне сделать. Пока что закончим эту серию. Подписывайтесь, комментарии. Я оставлю ссылочку на группу в описании. Давайте далее проходить Tangle Tower. Я думаю, мы выясним, что за срань, что за фигня. Мы сейчас еще с детективом поговорим. Поговорим с Флорой. Надо где-то использовать телескоп. Я не совсем понимаю, правда, где. Вот. Что там с Арфой, я тоже пока не понимаю, потому что никто не может дать мне зацепку. Может, конечно, Флора, но она типа молчаливая, типа хрена знает. Вот. И всем пока.